Hi, this is Yolanda Vanveen, and in this segment we're going to talk all about how to divide perennials. Now perennials come in all different shapes and sizes, but what they do is come back every year. And when they do that, they multiply, so they make lots of babies, and before long you have huge clumps of whether it be daylilies or irises or lilies or crocosmias. You end up with lots of them. So there's a lot of easy ways that you can divide them, and pretty much as long as you've got a stem and any type of root or a bulb with it, that is a new plant. So that's always the goal when you divide, and we'll talk about a few different plants. So these are bearded irises, and they braid. They kind of make these big braids under the ground. So when you divide them up, it's really easy because every little piece is going to grow. So you can't make a mistake for one. Don't worry about that. And I just kind of break them apart and twist them, and then just kind of separate them, and wherever there's a eye, there's going to be new growth. I still like to leave them on a pretty good size because I found if you leave them a little bit bigger, they're going to grow bigger right away, as opposed to breaking them into too small pieces. But as long as you've got points or ends, they're going to grow. Now bamboo really takes over, and it's just a grass. So just like grass, it's really easy to separate. And as long as you've got a stem and some root, you can make a new plant. And it doesn't take much root even at all. So I could just separate it and divide it. And when they get really thick too, you might have to take an electric drill or a shovel or any type of method that you can get them up out of the ground, because they can really get compact. You can always water plants down really well too. If you make them really wet, they'll divide and break a lot easier too. Just throw them in a bucket of water for a while too, and then they'll break open a little easier. Now lilies, they just multiply like a garlic would. They just make masses of bulbs. So I always try to just twist them. When I separate them too, I just twist it from the stem. It's a lot easier than pulling. So twisting is always easier than pulling when you're dividing plants. And when I plant them back out, I still would put them in a triangle, maybe 6 inches or more apart, as opposed to touching. And even this is going to be 2 stems, so you could even break that apart and make 2 lilies out of it. But my theory is don't separate the mamas from the babies till the babies are as big as the mamas. So this one's just about ready to be separated. But if it was any smaller, I would have left it together. Now plants like daylilies can really be a challenge to separate because they just make these huge mounds. And so I just keep working at it, and even just take a shovel right down the middle, take a knife right down the middle. This one is just so compact right now. I'll probably end up just soaking it in a bucket of water first, and then it'll just pry open a little easier. Or I could take an electric drill, or I could take a knife, or I could take a shovel right down the middle. As long as you've got stem and you've got some bulbs, you can divide them. So dividing plants is just as easy as pulling them up and separating them out. As long as you've got a stem and a root, you can plant them right away again. And the trick is plant them in the ground or in a pot as soon as possible, because plants don't hold up out of the ground for too long. But saying that, if you do dig some up and you leave them out for a while and they look dry, as long as part of it is still solid, they will grow again. So even if it's a year later, I always plant them in the ground. And never ever throw them away or compost your plants if there's actually bulbs with them, because you can always donate them to many different vendors at a farmer's market, or you can go to Habitat for Humanity, or you could go to any other group or your school, anywhere, your neighbors, put them out in the corner with a free sign. Always give your plants away and recycle them. Never throw them away, because dividing them is sharing them.